I've actually only known, I can think of 3 people that liked them. The first friend that I had one loved his wind generator, set it up no matter what. My second friend thought it wasn't worth the hassle. And now you're the deciding vote. It's one of each, 1-1.
Okay, well let's see how it rolls out.
All right. Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today I'm here with my wonderful friend Diane. Hi Diane.
Hello.
Diane has been on the channel before. You know her. She's in a very nice transit van. And Diane has something that is pretty unusual. You've got a wind generator.
I do.
So today we're gonna learn all about wind generators. They're not common anymore. First, let's just start with, why do you have a wind generator?
I have a wind generator because I have a very generous longtime friend who is a proponent of wind power.
And you'll see it behind us. It should be in the shot, and you'll see that it's a fairly windy day. And every so often you can watch my hair and you'll know how windy it is. And you'll see it start turning. It just started turning. Okay, a little background on wind generators. They got, the higher the better. And
it really does have to, I think, to be about 20 miles an hour.
Problem number one, and probably one of the bigger reasons people don't bother to get wind generators, is it looks like it's really hard to put up. Looks like it's heavy and it's way up there in the air. You're, you know, a smaller, older human being. And do you put it up?
I do put it up.
But you are putting it up all by yourself.
I am.
You put it up.
I am. The top itself only, the motor itself only weighs 16 pounds.
Okay, and so do you store it up there so you don't even have to carry it? Okay,
I do.
Well, that works well.
I lash it down. I have a little container up there. Actually, I got a new container that holds everything. Right now it's just in a wet dry bag, but it's all the nut that it takes to secure the propeller. I do have to take it apart. So that, and the tool to put it on, and the guide wires that I have, and also that cone, that tip, I keep all that up on the roof. So basically, when I want to set it up, I just have to go up and set it up.
So you just go up the ladder,
Yep.
assemble it,
Yep.
and the base is permanent and never moves.
Correct.
You just drop it in,
Yep.
tighten it down.
Yep.
That is actually not hard.
No.
How long does it take you?
It doesn't take very long, but it took me a long time to systemize it, you know, to make it easy for me.
Right.
This is just a fence post, and it just comes in and out. And I played with it for the past 6 months, and I would say it takes me no more than 20 minutes, no more, because everything's up there. That was another thing, is that it had to be easy, because I do try to stay in some places this year, like a few weeks at a time, but I'm still move a lot. And if I'm not having a lot of sun, chances are there's some wind. And so I like having the flexibility to be able to put it up easily wherever I am.
Most of the places we go, a storm blows in, you lose all your solar, but a wind usually comes up.
Right.
So you just, and sometimes you get both, but usually you get one or the other.
Right. And also at night too. So, you know, there's just a lot of versatility. That I'd say is the biggest takeaway that I've learned from having.
So the biggest problem is how hard it is to put up, and for you that is not a problem.
No. Just keep tweaking it until it works for you.
The higher the better. You know, if you can get you really should be, technically, we're in a treed area, it should be 20 feet above the tallest tree, and that just isn't going to happen.
No.
That's just not going to happen. So you're in the turbulence created by the trees, and that's going to affect the performance.
Right.
But that's just, this works.
Yeah. Well, that is, you know, that's where I am right now. And, but I spend a lot of time in wide open sky spaces. The batteries, my new batteries, can either generate with wind, solar, or if I'm plugged into a plug, shore power.
Right. So this comes with its own charge controller.
Yes. Each system has its own charge controller.
So like you said, each device has its own charge controller. The power goes into the charge controller puts it into the battery, and and that's fine. You can have both at once.
Right.
So my next question then is, what about comfort? So does it vibrate and shake the van, and does it make much noise?
There's no vibration. The way that I set it up is it's vertical that way, but I've also got an angle line. You can see with the holes in it, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
That's holding it horizontally. So I think that does a lot to keep it. And then I also have the guy wire. So I don't feel or hear any vibration.
So like most of us, you probably travel a fair amount and you're not in one place for all that long. How often do you put it up?
Now, because I really feel that I have it down pat, that works for me, I'll put it up. If I'm going to be staying somewhere 3 days, that means 2 nights, I will definitely put it up.
Really?
For the opportunity, just to keep the batteries going and charged up and all. Yeah.
Finally, let's kind of talk about how much power you're getting in. The thing costs on Amazon. It costs right now. I believe it's $260, but it's usually between $270, $275. So
Okay.
they've really come down. They're pretty cheap. Do you get enough power to justify that cost?
I get enough power to have it as an adjunct to everything else I've got going. If I was going to settle down somewhere, I think that then it would be a really worthwhile investment.
Right. If you
Because
own
it's up all the
property,
time.
right. If you own property, it would certainly be worth it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. As a nomad, it really feels like a nice insurance policy, actually.
Yes.
More than anything else, I'm really happy that I have it.
Do you have any idea how much power you're getting out of it on average? I mean, in the desert, it would be more because the wind blows
Yeah.
more.
Okay, I'll just give you for instance, is that when I set this up here, my batteries were about 52%. About 3 hours later, it was up to about 65% or 70%. You know, so it would fluctuate in between those two things, which I thought was pretty decent for just a few hours.
Yeah.
And it was windy.
And again, when most places I go, a storm blows in, you lose the sun because it's all cloudy and maybe raining,
Mm-hmm.
and you usually get wind.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they are actually a perfect complement to each other,
Yeah.
viewed throughout the season, the year.
Yes, exactly.
So I guess the bottom line question is, would you recommend this to someone else if they had to spend the 275 and raising it, lowering it? Would you say to someone else that, yeah, I recommend this?
What I would say is if you're someone who is really would like the idea of having right now, which is the major ways of creating power for yourself when you're on the road, I would say absolutely. If you're just starting out, I would just have it on your list, down the road.
And after you've done everything else,
After you've
add
done
this.
everything else, after you've done everything else.
And again, if you're in a place where you get a lot of rain and clouds, maybe you would move
Oh,
right up to the
yeah.
list. So if I lived in
Exactly.
Seattle, where all winter you get virtually no solar,
Oh, that's a
then
good
maybe
point.
maybe I would give it a lot more priority. Now, let me take a little time and get a little bit technical with you. On the Amazon website, it gives a power curve. So let's look at the power curve. I'll put it up. You'll be seeing it right now. Let's talk about the power curve. So now you're seeing the curve of the generator power on your screen, and if you look at it, at about 11 miles per hour, it's producing about 75 watts. And my guess is that's under ideal conditions. My guess is that you're really not going to be getting 75 watts at 11 miles per hour. And then if you jump over to the 10, it says 10, but that's metric, and I've written in 22 miles per hour. Then you're up to 300 watts. And again, my guess is that's optimistic under perfect conditions, and none of us are ever going to be in perfect conditions, so you're probably only getting 100 or 200 watts at 22 miles an hour. And then they show the almost peak curve over 400 watts at 33 miles per hour. So you're really, to get your whole 400 watts, you've got to have 33 mile an hour wind. So the power curve, this is what they're claiming, and I would always think of it as generous, as probably, optimistic. So really, you're not getting any power below 10 miles per hour. You're not getting significant power till 22, and you're not getting full output until 33. And again, that's optimistic numbers. So I think it's helpful to know that and see what it should produce, give you a better idea of what you're buying if you buy one. So if the folks out there want to follow you, do you have any social media they can go to?
I have one. I have a YouTube channel. It is Cultivate Life, period.
Cultivate Life, period. So go there, check out her stories, and I think you'll be really glad you did.
And thank you in advance.
Well, Diane, thank you so much for sharing your experience with the wind generator. It was very, very helpful. I think there's a lot of people out there. Answered questions for them, maybe gave them a little direction. Thank you so much.
Happy to do it. Happy to
Appreciate
do
it. So, folks, I hope that helps you to give you a much better idea of, would you buy a wind generator? You know, it's kind of, you get a semi recommendation. It's down the list, but yes, there might be a few of you. It's a really good idea, and for most of us, it's not a real priority. That's the bottom line, as far as we can give you a bottom line. So folks, if this was helpful to you, if you got anything out of it, I hope you'll like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.